Good afternoon, everybody. We've got JamEviler at 2-1 versus VReznor at 3-0, coming at you literally in the next minute or two here. Just getting set up, waiting on the epic joke bot, and we will be ready to roll here. Probably be doing some last minute cropping depending on how it looks after they get off this screen, so bear with me for the first couple of minutes. And as always, if I happen to miss something on the tracker, just yell at me and I'll fix it. So this race for JamEviler is win, and he's into the bracket. But if he takes a loss here, then he will have to go into the play-in race, whereas VReznor here is only playing for fame and glory, essentially. Would get a higher seed in the event he wins this one. So right off the bat, we find Palace 1, and Jam steps into the town of Meadow. So some interesting things right off the bat. I realized I don't have game audio. I also realized the game timer didn't start because I'm dumb. So let's see if I can get these guys synced up here. Alright, they're synced up according to their timers. I gotta move up my timer a little bit here. And right off the bat here, Jam getting a pretty nasty encounter with that nice lag. I realize the sound's not on too, so this is not going well. Let me sync the timer up. I'll get the sound going, and then we'll truly be rolling here. And an unfortunate death for Jam there. Looks like a little bit of a nasty encounter there, as Jam's going to step into Harkitator Cave. Let's go. And Reznor finding Parappa Pass. So our first item of the seed is going to be a 500-point P-Bag. And I believe Reznor just picked up the boots off of Grass Tile, but I'm not 100% sure. I looked up right as he grabbed it. It could have been Flute. I only saw the bottom half of it. I want to mark it as the boots because I don't know what it was otherwise. Alright, so 500 points is a nice early find for Jam. Obviously not a required item, but any early levels you get is really nice. And Jam finding the town of Rauru here. He's going to pick up his first free spell. Meanwhile, Reznor digging through P-Bag Cave here. He's going to pick up something new as well. It's going to be the Cross. So finding boots early is very nice, but nothing else notable so far. And these runners are looking for either a magic key, the glove, or the raft. And the spell of life in the town of Rauru, so that'll be a nice little spell you can lean on early on, as Jam's going to take an up and A and start looking again from the beginning here. And meanwhile, Reznor finds the town of Saria, the other free spell in the west. So Jam headed up to the northeastern start there. Probably going to stumble upon all the things Reznor just was able to pick up, like the Grass Tile and the P-Bag Cave. And eventually we'll enter the town of Saria, so Jam is up a spell, essentially. And maybe just a tiny bit of exploration. And we have the spell of shield in Saria, so those two spells skipping canon locations here. And Jam actually finds Trophy Cave, which I do not believe Reznor found. So if there's something good in here, the kid is not a bad find. It's going to be useful later, but for right now, maybe not the most useful thing. But that does eliminate one possible place for Reflect and Thunder, so definitely not going to be disappointed in that find. And meanwhile, ReznOr finding Death Mountain to the east of Saria here. And looks like he's going to take a quick peek into the one entrance he can get into. That shows really nothing promising, so he's just going to step right back on out. So Jam's enjoying a little bit of a level advantage here, just because he happened to cross the 500 point P-bag that ReznOr has not yet found. But it's looking like their paths are going to converge here in relative short order, so it would not surprise me for them to be just about even in about a minute or two here. So once again, Jam, no stranger to randomizer tournaments. He was the winner of the Zelda 1 randomizer tournament that took place a month or two ago and just finished up. And ReznOr, no stranger to Zelda 2. He is a relatively accomplished Zelda 2 all keys runner. So both of these runners bringing a different repertoire of skills into the game here. Jam finding the other side of Death Mountain, which appears to be totally useless, completely blocked off, not really amounting to anything. And ReznOr's gonna pick up a life here. So aside from the grass tile, we are even across the board. That is not where Jam found Rauru? Is there a seed discrepancy here? Am I not crazy? I thought Rauru was right by start, and then ReznOr just happened into Rauru. A little bit further up than start. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll have to get some people on it that aren't currently restreaming. Looking at you, Angry Larry. I might just be crazy. I think I'm just going a little bit crazy. It's all good. Just the layout of this. So we have a hammer blocked item cave, so that does eliminate one possible option for the raft here. And I do believe we've seen Palace either 3 or 6. We've definitely seen Palace 1, which is right by start. And then we saw either 2 or 5, and I didn't actually catch which one that was. We're gonna find out right now. It's 5. So Jam has not happened across the boots yet. And so Reznor enjoying a little bit of an early advantage here, being able to explore north of this pretty huge river block here. But it is looking like the raft is either going to be on Death Mountain in 5 or in 1. But there's still a lot of caves left to find as well, so that might be a bit premature on my part. Do find the backside of Saria chilling right next to raft tile there. And Reznor's gonna up an A. He's gonna bait going into 1. Not too sure. What's going on there? And Jam is gonna come across the grass tile. That's gonna get him the boots. And Reznor does have to find the heart container cave, which contains the pea bags yet. Which I don't exactly recall where Jam found that before. It might be right here, actually. Nope, that's pea bag cave, which I do not think Jam has been in yet. So some minor exploration differences and a number of hammer blocks, but I don't think that road is leading to anything in particular. And Jam will pick up the cross. So what are we looking at here? So the game guarantees that you have a way to cast Fairy or Magic Key before going into any palace. That's a feature of the randomizer, so you don't get stuck and essentially can't do anything. So thank you. So the possible locations for the either getting Fairy or Magic Key are dwindling pretty significantly here. We've got a couple of caves left to find. We've seen Trophy Cave, Heart Container Cave, Pea Bag Cave, which means we have not seen Magic Container Cave or just Magic Container Cave, right? 3, 4. Don't mind me, I'm just cheating. And Medicine Cave, that's right. I don't know why I couldn't think of Medicine Cave. Good job, me. So there are 3 caves left to find. They just have not found them yet, essentially. See, this town right here is... Oh, Mito, that's right. Okay. For some reason I thought that was Raru when I was going crazy. Anyway. So, Reznor has the boots. They both have the boots. Reznor finally digging through the swamp and coming across Medicine Cave here, so... Another option on the table for Reznor here. Gonna come across this orange Dyra. Nice solid 150 experience for that guy. And it is the trophy here in the magic container cave. So, 2 of the spell items already out of the way early in the west. And Jam getting bodied by that bird, unfortunately. And we'll have to attempt this encounter again. Trophy was in magic container. No, medicine cave. Oh no, that was not a huge tract of swamp. That was a nice, small, tame swamp. And VReznor finally picking up the Heart Container Cave teabag as well. So, I do believe VReznor is down to 2 cave options, one of which he knows to be hammer blocked. So the final cave we haven't seen is either Magic Container Cave. No. There's only 1 cave left. I'm just crazy. My brain is not working right now. I do apologize. So it'll be interesting to see when VReznor does turn in this trophy, if that does net him fairy. If it does give him fairy, that's a pretty huge indicator that the raft is probably in 1 or 5. But if he turns in this trophy and it gets him a spell that's not fairy, like even Reflector Thunder, then the next progression item is going to be on Death Mountain. So turning in this trophy before proceeding on is probably the right decision, as it kind of gives you a pointer in the right direction, as VReznor does arrive in the town of Ruto, and we'll see what spell this does get. I was gonna say net, then I said get. Good job, me. And the trophy does lead to Reflect, so it is a good pickup. But also a very solid indicator that the next move is in fact in Death Mountain, and that is where Jam has headed. VReznor is going to ignore the meta and dive straight into 1 here. And so far we have a completely linear Death Mountain, but that's going to change in this screen here as we have 3 options. Death Mountain opens up nicely here for Jam, and VReznor is immediately met with a key block, so he will not be able to progress in Palace 1 at all without finding some way to get past that block. And Jam, taking advantage of those boots, has 1 tile to work with on the side there. He's going to be able to do a little bit more Death Mountain exploration, and we'll see where VReznor decides to go. So there are 3 potential items that could be on Death Mountain right now. We have the Magic Key, which could lead to Palace exploration. There's the Hammer, which is blocking not only the boulder on Death Mountain, but also an item cave. And it could also be the raft, so you can travel east with that, and that unlocks all kinds of stuff. Or it could also be the medicine, which is blocking fairy. So there's actually 4 items, I lied. Shame on me. But it's an interesting call from Jam to pick up to start exploring Death Mountain without having the trophy. So he hasn't actually eliminated the possibility that there's a cave out there somewhere that he has access to that might have an item that lets him get everywhere. But we do know that Death Mountain is the right call right now, so all of this exploration for Jam will not be for naught. And meanwhile, VReznor seems to be kind of doing laps here. I'm not sure he's got a particular goal in mind. Hammer Cave is being elusive for Jam though, so it could be one of those things where VReznor does eventually decide to dip into Death Mountain and picks the right cave, and he's just motoring right along. I wonder, it seems like VReznor is actually looking for Death Mountain and has lost track of it, if I had to guess. Seems to be pretty spicy Death Mountain here. Jam's done a lot of exploring already and hasn't had much to show for it quite yet. He does get an attack level, can't go wrong there. And here we have VReznor going to dip into Death Mountain as well. We do know the first 2 encounters in Death Mountain are essentially mandatory. 2 caves right off the bat. And boom, Jam gets spit out basically right where he entered, so a little bit unfortunate there. So the hunt continues. Jam's kind of caught in this loop here where he keeps ending up going to the same location. It seems like 2 or 3 caves kind of just all loop back on each other. I do believe VReznor and Jam just kind of high-fived there a little bit. They did indeed. But Jam's got a lot of options now. I'm actually a small amount concerned that the Hammer Cave will be behind that boulder. And it just happens to be one of those rare scenarios where the game doesn't check for it, but maybe not. Still a lot left to see here on Death Mountain. I believe, looking like Larry echoing my sentiments here. But still a bit of Death Mountain to explore. Jam finding a new area here. VReznor entering a cave he's already seen. He's gonna keep looking around as well. And oof, nice dead end there. So that boulder is actually blocking 2 caves, so it looks like there's gonna be a way to traverse between the 2, and we should be okay. And VReznor's gonna hit the same open area that Jam traversed earlier. Oh no, they're not actually connected. There's a little diagonal corner there. Interesting. So once again, these runners high-fiving here. This is the same seed. Why are the tunic different colors? Because that is an option independent of the seed. You can randomize your tunic color, and it does not affect gameplay. Alright, so we've seen a lot of Death Mountain. Is there a particular cave that either of these runners has not been into yet? There's a dead end on Jam's side, so definitely hadn't gone that way yet. Let's see if one of these other directions he's taken right here will lead him somewhere. Hammer Cave, thank you, Larry. An astute observation. There's that little path in the middle there. I guess they've been into. Had to go in there in order to get into Death Mountain. I've already seen Jam spit out in the middle below that as well. Ah, here we go. There's a new cave. Nope, that's not gonna be it either. He does end up in the middle there. So a dead end there as well. And this is getting a little more and more interesting here, as we are kind of running out of options. Another dead end for Jam. And VReznor will keep exploring as well, so this is the way out of Death Mountain. I'm not sure if Jam realizes that. Jam's gonna give up on it. He's thinking, hey, it's blocked. I can't do anything about it. And maybe Jam gonna dip into one now? And that he is. He's gonna immediately be key blocked though, so not gonna have too much luck there. Just kidding, he's gonna walk away and he's gonna walk back. Yes, that is correct. The only places left are Palace and Death Mountain. Everything else is either hammer blocked or everything else is hammer blocked, and there's no raft. So, from the gameplay perspective, you have to do Death Mountain. And we already know one to be key blocked, so it's definitely not there. Right, the hammer cave item has to be medicine, magic key, hammer, or raft. But once again, the randomizer is supposed to guarantee that you have either fairy or the magic key coming out of before entering a palace. So the only place you should be going now is Death Mountain, meta-wise. And it's not looking good here. I think both of these runners have kind of exhausted all the possible Death Mountain paths, so I'm wondering if we have a potential soft lock on our hands. Or and VReznor's also going to back out of Death Mountain here. It's possible that you can get to an item, but you would have no way of getting through the key door unless you pick up a key on the way. And while that is possible, it's not factored into the logic. There's times like these I wish I could pull up the seed in like an emulator and like hack myself with a hammer and see what was behind that boulder there. But oh well, we will continue on for now. Jam's gonna take a gander into Palace 5 here. He knows that Palace 1 is key blocked, and Reznor's gonna do the same, but he's gonna do this in 3 or 6. And it's gonna be Palace 6, so we have 1, 5, and 6 in the west, and he is immediately blocked. He could... And Jam does pick up a key in Palace 5. He's gonna have to immediately spend it. And he will. And he's gonna find himself another key here. Oh, JK. Got bodied. We do have red Stalfos in the drippers here. And Reznor's gonna let the key drop. Whoops. Going to immediately be met by a key door. He's actually going to up an A instead of turning around for the key, which is interesting. Reznor does pick up the key, takes a death, and he's gonna turn around. Is he gonna leave and go to 1? No, he's gonna keep exploring. Meanwhile, Jam here is going to pick up nothing again. So no keys left for Jam as far as I know. Nope, they're sticking to the palace here. Keep in mind, Jam has not found the trophy yet. There's an entire cave Jam could have possibly found here. And Reznor's taken about 6 up and A's already. And so yeah, the keyless trek through 5 continues here. It is a pretty miserable situation. I am personally not 100% convinced it's not an unintentional soft lock. But we'll see. Meanwhile, Jam and this blue iron knuckle going at it for a 3rd time here. Kind of just boost his way on through. And Jam is met with a key door. He is going to peace on out. Meanwhile, Reznor is able to pick up another key. And he is going to find the item room. And Jam is actually going to stumble across the trophy here. And the item room is a heart container in 5. And we know 6 and 1 to be blocked. And the only thing left is the cave on Death Mountain. So, if we have tournament admin like watching this race like they're supposed to, let's see if we can get somebody in here. Jam is going to pick up the trophy. He's going to turn that in. And it's only going to net him reflect. I think we'll let them do one more pass at Death Mountain, and then if they don't find anything, might have to regenerate a new seed here. So that'll be exciting. Zarnax, taking a look at DM. Alright, thank you, Zarnax. The cave in question is the one behind the boulder. We're thinking that might be Hammer Cave, and that has caused a soft lock. Because the boulder is unintentionally blocking that cave. Normally... But it could also be, you know, one magic cave in Death Mountain. So hopefully Zarnax is able to shed some light on the subject. Both runners correctly re-entering Death Mountain here. Nope, it is not soft locked. Jam finding the magic cave to hammer cave. And we doubted him this whole time. Alright, so we are back on track here. Just a very, very nasty Death Mountain. So this has to be Medicine, Hammer, Raft, or Magic Key. And Jam is going to take a death before figuring out what the item is, unfortunately. Alright, how could we ever doubt Dig Shake? It is the Hammer in Hammer Cave. And that will open up an item in the west as well as the boulder item. Jam actually electing to walk out here. VReznor getting behind the block there, so this proves that he might have had his suspicions that, hey, this seed's a soft block, but now he knows, oh crap, I can actually get the Hammer Cave. And the runners are going to high five here. And where is Jam going? He has access to the boulder. Aha, he's just foregoing encounters here. And the Spectacle Rock item is a heart container. So that means that Magic Container Cave is going to contain either Medicine, Raft, or the Magic Key. We do know the correct way to go is left on this screen right here, where VReznor is going now, so he's really not going to be that far behind. And Jam immediately going for Magic Container Cave. And VReznor going to find Hammer Cave. A little bit upset with himself. Gonna take it out on the air. And he's gonna get on his way. We do have the raft in Magic Container Cave. So this opens up a number of things here. I need to mark the tracker. Alright, this seed definitely threw both runners for a loop, but we are on our merry way, continuing onward. No soft blocks to be found. Meanwhile, Hammer for VReznor now. Jam's gonna get to explore all the swamp of his dreams here in the eastern continent. And VReznor actually not electing to walk out to get back to the boulder, but he's just going to go straight for that item cave, and he's gonna find the raft. And he's going to be down a heart container, but up in time, as Jam took the time to walk all the way out of the Hammer Cave just to get the Spectacle Rock item, which happened to be a heart container. So, a definite time game for VReznor here. Jam finding Palace 4 here. So we still have not seen 1 of 3 or 6, we have not seen Palace 2, and we have not seen Great Palace. Jam did find the trophy and get Reflect, thank you. Nice 500 point P-bag there for Jam in the desert tile. Not the item he was looking for, but a good consolation prize. Alright, need to get back into the mentality of actually commentating here. So, I think VReznor is grabbing the Spectacle Rock item. So the time he would have gained having skipped that is going to be moot. But Jam's on his last life in the east here. He's kind of getting beat up a little bit. He's actually going to take Magic 4. I wonder if that was... Yeah, he wanted to be able to cast Life, and it looks like he's not able to. So, an unfortunate level up there. Meanwhile, VReznor digging back through... Oh no, he can cast Life. He just elected to do it later. We've got a P-bag cave on Jam's side here, and we also saw the entrance of Valley of Death as well. And the glove for Jam, a good pickup there. Meanwhile, VReznor picking up Spectacle Rock. It's gonna be a heart container. He's gonna stab his heart out and go on over to the east with the raft. I'm finding another palace over here. It's going to be Palace 3. We know 6 is the one in the east, or the west, sorry. So Jam picking up the glove, that is a good pickup. However, he needs a way to get through these palaces, either fairy or magic key. So the item hunt continues for Jam, though he's definitely one to the good. And he's going to pick up a P-bag on desert tile. So that's out of the equation. And here we have a town. It's going to be Old Kasuto. And Jam, unfortunately, the sign getting away of an epic battle with the Moa. And Old Kasuto is going to get us the spell. Jam needs to be careful. Oh, he did up an A. Never mind. He's good. Stream offline. I don't believe you. Looks like the Twitch API is having some fun. So do let me know if you can still hear me. And Jam continuing to check desert tiles. He did not up an A, so he still is at 0 lives. So death here would indeed be costly. And Jam gonna find the other item cave here in the west. So both P-bag caves. A bit of a hunt, but he's gonna pick them both up here. And meanwhile, VReznor actually electing to take a different path here. He's gonna go all the way to the east. Gonna boot his way around and kind of get blocked for his trouble. Medicine here in the other P-bag cave. Meanwhile, VReznor going straight to New Kasuto here, as Jam's able to win the fight, thankfully for him. That would have been a little unfortunate had he taken death there. So all spell items in the hands of Jam. The only thing he's missing is a way to get through doors, and then he will be only some spell turn-ins away from full dig shake. Meanwhile, New Kasuto was the right place to go for Fairy, as VReznor's gonna pick that up, and that's actually interesting. I wonder if that kind of tilts him towards going into palaces now, to maybe look for Glove, as opposed to exploring the overworld like Jam has. Jam finally gonna take that game over, but he's okay with that. He can pick up downstab and turn in that medicine right away here. And meanwhile, VReznor gonna find the town of Darunia here. He has the kid, so and he has Fairy, so he's gonna take a peek in here and see what we get. Fairy is castable, looks to be 32 or 33, so that's a very cheap fairy, even at Magic 3. Jam. Walking past downstab. Does he forget that he... Oh no, he does not have jump or fairy, that's right. Oh, he has jump now, thankfully. The old man bailed him out in Mido. Jam will pick up downstab. VReznor will pick up thunder. Which means we have cannon fire location. So, VReznor, he's a glove away from being full dig shake. We know that glove to be just chilling in P-bag cave. And Jam is the fairy or magic key and the kid turn in for being the full dig shake here. Do have the water tile on VReznor's side, and VReznor's also going to find Naburu here. It'll be interesting to see if he elects to pick up that spell, as he only has... I guess he still needs the spell, and that could be blocking something in his mind, so... Let's see what water tile gets us today. It's a 1-up. Hooray! So VReznor's gonna pick up fire here, and we're gonna see what fire is indeed tied to. If fire is tied to thunder, he can start spamming to his heart content, but we'll see. Looks like fire is fairy. At the same cost, I believe. So that might be advantageous for Jam eventually. If Jam happens across fire before it is fairy, and the cost of fire is lower at Magic 4, then Jam might be in good shape. So it's looking like VReznor is either looking for palaces or he's continuing to look for caves here, and looking for caves is the right choice, for sure. Meanwhile, Jam finally going to make his way all the way over to the east here, and he's eventually going to find New Kasuto and Maze Island to the north. And Maze Island's going to be Reznor's play as well here. And Jam's going to make a little pit stop in New Kasuto. He will probably... well, he will definitely pick up the spell, and will he check the spell item? I'm not sure. In Spell Tower. Item number 1 for VReznor here, as Jam picks up Fairy. Is going to be the magic key. Jam did not check Spell Tower. He can't. He does not have enough magic. Spell does cost 67. So, VReznor has the magic key, has Fairy, has all the spells, does not have Glove, and if Jam happens across the magic key in Maze Island, no. Jam's gonna go into Darunia instead and pick up Thunder. And VReznor's gonna find the other item. It's only going to be a pea bag. And ladies and gents, we know where everything's at. It's just a matter of clearing some palaces now. And VReznor's gonna be in Palace 2 here. Oh, it's blue Stalfos. I thought it was red. Huh. And VReznor, unfortunately, is going to be digging for items because he's still looking for this glove where we know it's outside. So that's going to be a time loss for every palace he does without checking that pea bag cave. And so things are looking really good for Jam right now as he's about to pick up Thunder and truly be full dig shake. And Jam's gonna turn around and hit up Maze Island here. So it'd be interesting to see if Jam goes straight for the palace, or if he elects to pick up the items. And it does look like he's gonna pick up the items. VReznor finding a heart container in 2. No glove today. here we are. Jam's going to arrive on the magic key here. So, Jam. Full dig shake. VReznor into, looking for the glove. Jam has the advantage of downstab, on top of having the knowledge of not needing to search for any more items. As he continues to search for items, there could potentially be a need for a magic container in order to be able to cast Thunder at a higher magic level. So that is a potential thing that these runners will have in the back of their mind. As Jam will pick up the second item, being a pea bag. And we are an hour in, ladies and gents, and 0 gems have been placed. But I don't expect this race to go longer than another half hour here. It's going to be a nice, quick finish here. Looking like VReznor gonna find JamEviler here. And the standard low helmet head health roll. And he's gonna go down right quick. And VReznor's gonna be able to get his attack level just fine and will be completing Palace 2 first here. It is possible with the high enough magic levels that Thunder can roll under 64, I believe. Alright, VReznor fully complete with Maze Island here. He's still got some P-bag caves that need to be checked. And he's going to up an A. He's probably going to go and say, you know what, I really want downstab, but he does not have the medicine out of the P-bag cave yet. But he should be okay. He's got all the spells he really needs, so no harm, no foul in not having the medicine, I suppose. Got downstab for VReznor. We've got helmet head for Jam. VReznor's gonna have to walk all the way back to the east, while Jam's just gonna walk right out of Maze Island. So Jam's gonna have a little bit of an advantage here. Oh nope, VReznor says, screw it, I'm going into Palace 1. Nothing wrong with that either. Except for the small, important fact that we know the glove is in the east, in a P-bag cave. So for every palace VReznor enters into without checking those caves, he's going to be digging for items and potentially wasting time. And it's looking like Jam is going to be doing the same as well. He'll probably be duck right into Palace 1 here. And there he goes. Palace 1 is indeed a nice short palace, so I wouldn't be surprised if Jam actually looks for a magic container in here as well. Nope. Jam don't care. %, no keys for Jam. So it is looking like Jam's gonna skip items here and just hope that he finds the boss. Whereas Reznor is gonna keep digging and see what he can find. Nope, 100% one key. And we do know, it looks like to the left is the item room, and to the right is Horsehead. So Reznor's probably going to finish up this palace before Jam, unless Jam does not look for the item. Which he will not. And it's a heart container in one. No magic containers allowed, folks. Thunder is 67 right now. As one leaves the Horsehead fight, another one enters. Jam places the gem in Palace 1, does not pick up the heart container. And Reznor's going to be right behind him. Reznor's got a little bit of an experience advantage. He's going to enjoy a little bit more as Jam actually picks up Magic 5. He's got Thunder on his mind. So looking at a little bit of a divergence here, Jam is going to go up and probably clear Palaces 5 and 6 to be completely done with the west. Whereas it's looking like Reznor is electing to go back east to continue to look for items. And or maybe just clear the easier palaces. So Jam entering Palace 5. We also know the item in Palace 5 to be a heart container. Reznor actually pulled that one out before he had access to the keys. Oh, whoops. He also placed this gem. Good job. Alright, so back east for Reznor. Jam looking for Guma. Reznor sees a cave, takes a cave. See a cave, take a cave. Sometimes a good strat. We don't know where this one's gonna end up for us. Ah, right by our buddy the River Devil. I do remember the medicine cave, or the P-bag cave that had medicine was far west, as Jam makes quick work of Palace 5 here. He's gonna fight Guma at 455, maybe not ideal, but I feel like both of these runners, were they to get here at 455, would be able to handle Guma without too much issue. It's gonna take a while, don't get me wrong, but... as looking like Reznor is eyeing Palace 4 here. Oh, sorry, that's Palace 3. I thought that was Palace 4. Palace 4 must be in the vicinity. We do have Valley of Death sitting there. Actually, at this point, I think that has to be GP. And a good fight from Jam, no real problems. Guma's down, and one of the nastiest palaces is going to be clear for Jam. He's up to 3 gems. head straight into Palace 6. VReznor gonna find Old Kasuto here. He's going to be picking up the spell, and I wonder if he turns around and checks what that spell item in New Kasuto is. Oh, that's a very valid point. He can't check because spell costs 67. I forgot. And we have an early drop in 6 for Jam. If I'm in 6 and I see an early drop, I'm actually very happy about this because there are quite a number of rooms that you could potentially drop through that have right exits, like this ferry room, for example. So having an early drop gives you a lot of options right out of the gate, and then if you hit a dead end or something you don't want to see, you can either just up an A and keep dropping, or you can just know that that's not where you need to go. We are in the Riku player room for Jam here. And VReznor's gonna find the Peabag Cave that we know to contain medicine. Not quite the Peabag Cave he was hoping for here. And Jam gonna clear the Canadian hole, no problems. Except, you know, maybe dying. But look, he's looking good. And oof, it's just a drop room. Or at the end of a drop room. So he'll take the hole and see where it leads him. The only other dead-end drop room, so a little bit unfortunate there. But it's new, it's unexplored, can't be that bad, right? Meanwhile, VReznor still doing the runaround in the Eastern Overworld, still looking for one more Peabag Cave. Do believe he might have found Desert Tile. Desert Tile was only a 200-point Peabag, so it's hard to tell if he found that or not. But he does know that there is at least the item in New Kasuto, potentially 2, as Jam stumbles into Barba here. No mini-bosses, no nothing. And we're gonna see a Yak Hammer. He's got jump. He's inching over. He's in the air. And a fair amount of damage. Definitely at attack 5. Can't be too sad about the results there. It's going to be about 200 experience short of getting the required XP, but you know what, his levels are even across the board. So he's going to clear Palace 6. Meanwhile, VReznor finally finding the Peabag Cave that we know to contain Glove here. And so he's going to have to get motoring real quick here. As Jam is completely done in the west, with the exception of possibly needing a magic container, but the chances of him finding a magic container over here are probably pretty high. And VReznor immediately going to duck into Palace 3 here. And meanwhile, Jam going to duck into Palace 4, so should be interesting to see. Looking like Jam is firmly in the lead here. Meanwhile, VReznor, the first room he sees in Palace 3 is the item room here, so potential magic container. I think the only other thing left is the flute. So it's definitely gonna be the flute then, right? Nope, it is a magic container. The first one of the run. And it's likely that Jam is also going to stumble into that room just because it's the first right you can possibly take, and I expect him to find that magic container as well when he does go into 3. So here's the question of the day: can Jam actually cast Reflect? I didn't actually look at the cost. I would assume he can at Magic 5, but we'll see. Currently, no. Jam cannot cast Thunder. It costs 67. And Jam actually gonna turn around in this room. He knows that room ends in an elevator, and he saw another elevator over here, so he might as well check up first before making the long trek through. And it is gonna be a right exit, so I'm gonna say that's the right call to make. As VReznor's making his way through Palace 3 here. Palace 3, not one of the longer dungeons, just annoying when you don't have the glove. VReznor making short work of it here. And hopefully he's going to find Rebenak here relatively soon. So Jam has seen 2 dead ends, as well as the final drop room. He did skip taking a drop, so there's a potential right exit there, as VReznor does move on to Rebenak here, so relatively quick 3. And dead end number 3 for Jam. He has 1 dead end and the item room left to find. And of course Carrot. And VReznor's gonna finish up Palace 3. Gonna take attack 7. And VReznor's really in good shape to take attack 8, and then just once he does take attack 8, just dump all his other experience into life and magic. So VReznor actually electing to up an A here does not clear 4. He's gonna go do 5 and 6 before coming back for 4 and Valley of Death. An interesting choice. And Jam is going to take this drop here. Don't blame him. And it is the item room for Jam. Once again, only magic containers and the flute left. And it is going to be a magic container. I'm sure Jam's happy to see that. And I did miss the cost of Reflect when he paused right there. But I'm assuming he needed it. Alright, VReznor ducking into Palace 5. Jam doing a nice full clear of 4 here. finally gonna happen into Carrick here, so looking like reflect cost maybe about 50 at Magic 5. So didn't need the magic container after all, but definitely needs it for Thunder. So it'll be a good find for him. And Carrick's gonna step right into his own beams. And Jam will be done with Palace 4 with only 3 left to go. And 3 is right outside of Valley of Death, so the routing Jam taking here is going to pay off for him as well. If he remembers where things are. Which is looking to not be the case, unfortunately. So Jam's going to be doing a little exploration, which we know, I do believe Palace 3 is on the southeastern side of this continent, so not looking like he remembers where the final palaces are, unfortunately. So this is going to give VReznor a little bit of time to catch up here, but he's got a lot of ground to catch up. And Jam actually finding Nibiru, doesn't have fire, doesn't care. He is going to go to the water tile though. And the water tile does have a 1-up, so he's going to be disappointed with what he finds here. And he's actually going to take this cave, I think, just to see where it leads him. Meanwhile, VReznor still working his way through Palace 5 here. I do want to say when Jam was in Palace 5, I did think it was a relatively quick foray through the palace, so we'll see when VReznor does end up finding Guma here. Why is Jam still getting items? That is a good question. I think it was one of those cases of, hey, it's there, I could use another heart container or a magic container. And Jam is actually going to go into Valley of Death, being unable to find Palace 3, which is literally like 3 tiles north of where he's at right now. And he's going to find Valley of Death, and he's going to find Great Palace, and he's probably going to up an A and come back. So he is definitely confused as to the location of Palace 3. Nope, he's actually going to walk back through Valley of Death. That makes sense. VReznor getting the runaround in Palace 5. And, man, Jam, just go up, buddy. It's right there. You can do it. Oh no. Thought he was gonna walk under that swamp and just keep looking, but looks like he might finally head the right direction here. There it is, in the middle of plain sight for you. Meanwhile, VReznor still going through Palace 5 here. This is the item room in 3. Jam's only got 5 containers of each, so let's say, you know what, whatever I find in here, I'll take it. And it's going to be the magic container, as we knew. So any magic problems we might have had in this seed are out the window at this point. VReznor, man, still can't find Guma. I think he might be over here. And there he is. So a little bit of an unfortunate scenic tour for VReznor through 5, and if he wanted to catch up, he really needed that to be a relatively quick ordeal. But he's making short work of Guma with that attack 7. He's gonna plow right through him. And he's down to just 2 palaces remaining. But Jam is in his final palace. And VReznor gonna duck right into 6, as it was right by Palace 5, so he'll pick up attack 8. So he'll have the potency of that sword. But will that give him an edge, as Jam arrives in his final boss fight with Rebo here? Rebanak down for Jam. That will be his final gem. VReznor's got a little bit further to go through 6 and 4 here. So the only thing that can really save VReznor now is some kind of super trolly GP, or if VReznor goes into GP and goes left and it happens to be the right way and Jam gets stuck in the world's largest loop going right. Looking like Jam's final level is going to be 576, maybe a little unorthodox, but we'll see if that comes into play. And JamEviler entering the Great Palace 129.05. A nice deep purple. And he does go left. It is 129 into the run. He probably thinks he's behind, so why not go left? It might pay off, it might not. But this is one of those scenarios. If Thunderbird happened to be to the right off the bat there, and Jam went left and gets caught in a huge loop, that gives VReznor a lot of time to catch up. But we don't know that's the case. And we do have Fairy Room. And Canadian Hole and VReznor will find Barba in relative short order here. And he will just stab him in the chin a couple times. The upstab strats on Barba are one we don't normally see. As Jam is in his, I think, 4th of these rooms already. It does find a dead end. And boom, Palace 6 done for Reznor. And he's gonna get a lot of experience to show for it. Actually, having attack 8 and only 6,800 for that level is incredibly low. Usually that you're looking at like 98, 9,900, but 6,800 is pretty rough, actually. Jam did take a drop in the Eon room, and we'll continue to explore the palace here. As he's greeted with a waffle room. And a nice jar pickup. That'll be convenient. Meanwhile, Reznor entering Palace 4 as Jam is entering Thunderbird, so taking the Eon drop and going right did end up being the correct call after going left from the start, so very interesting turn of events here. The pathing for Jam definitely working in his favor. Getting some nice triple stabs in. Ooh, an unfortunate death for Jam on Thunderbird there. With attack 5 and life 6, it's gonna be a little bit rough, especially with only a few bars, but he should have shield this time if I'm not mistaken. And Reznor needs to drop here for Carrick, but he's gonna go right first, and there's a lot of stuff over here, so it's a little bit unfortunate for him. And another death for Jam on T-Bird here. So he's gonna have to take it a little bit easy. Maybe a little less ham. Oh, that was a risky thunder, my friends. Jam taking one hit can only take 2 more. And the pressure is on. As Reznor continues to wake his mate through, Palace 4 does need to eventually turn around to get to Carrick, but I think he's actually doing that right now. Maybe. And T-Bird down for Jam. Let's see how much GP is left after that Thunderbird. So we didn't really get to see a lot of it. Jam just happened to go the right way. And it is an immediate Dark Link. So unless Jam bonkies this up, he's going to be your winner here. And he's going to move to 3-1 and guarantee his spot into the double elimination bracket. There it is. Jam's final time, 1:35.16. Meanwhile, Reznor finding the magic container in Palace 4. And let's see if we can pull in Mr. Jam for an interview here. Reznor getting the full Palace 4 run around here. And Mr. Jam, would you like to join me in Discord for an interview, sir? We've got Carrick for Reznor here. He'll finally be making his way through 4, and we'll be placing his final gem. Easy peasy. Reznor electing to up an A. I'm assuming he's going to cash in this medicine just to see what it is. He knows that Jam is done now at this point, so might as well get the jump spell. And Little Turtle will make his final adventure over to the east, into the Valley of Death, and hopefully we'll defeat Thunderbird and Dark Link.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nair.
Hello.
Near.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you, thank you. I'm very excited to move on to the next stage of the tournament.
Yeah, it was definitely a pretty legendary seed. You both did a lap through Death Mountain, and then I'm assuming you both saw that boulder and were like, "Huh, it's probably there," and then left. So tell me about that Death Mountain.
Yeah, I was like, there was 2 caves that I was missing, right? I was missing Medicine Cave and a Magic Container Cave. I knew at least one of them were behind that boulder block, so I didn't want to, push the issue any further. But I was like, where's the other one? I missed another cave. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to ignore it for now. Hopefully it's not anything important. Hopefully it's a pea bag, and I can just go about my business. So that's the first time I went into Death Mountain, and it didn't really work out too well for me. I explored a little bit of it the first time. I think I actually explored the bulk of it the first time. And there was only a few that I didn't explore that I left behind and saved for my second trip through. But having required items in Death Mountain is probably one of my favorite type of seeds, because I do not have a problem exploring Death Mountain. It just has a problem with me exploring it. So it was, definitely Man, what was it, like 45 minutes it took me to get to the other continent? 50 minutes?
And you did beat VReznor there. I'll tell you that right now.
Wow, that's terrible. That's not that his gameplay was terrible. It was just the way this map was laid out, and I should have realized earlier that I should have just continued in Death Mountain. But yeah, all signs were pointing towards stay away for as long as possible, and that's what I tried to do.
Yeah, for a while there, there was the boulder was like blocking that one cave, and we were like, "Oh no, is this a soft lock?" Because you had both done like this huge exploration of Death Mountain and hadn't found Hammer Cave, so like, oh no, maybe it's got to be behind that boulder, but then it wasn't. And we had people like downloading the seed and like loading it up in like editors, and then you finally happened across Hammer Cave, and we were like, oh phew, it's okay.
Okay, that's funny. Everyone was freaking out. Yeah, how do you think we felt as racers?
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal. I think VReznor ducked out and went into 1, saw it was key blocked, and then he went into 5 and was actually able to pull the item out of there, but it was just a heart container.
All right, which way is VRez going in this great palace?
He went
I
right.
said before this match, I said I'm playing against VRez, someone who is a much more skilled vanilla player, has a little more experience than I do in the randomizer. That I'm going to take the risk and I'm going to go left in Palace of or Great Palace, and that ended up paying off for me.
Yeah, it was a very interesting call. You were, I think, 2 gems ahead by the time you got to GP here, and then you went left. So I mean, it worked out for you. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's actually looking like you looped back around, because here's the Eon drop for Rez already, 2 rooms in. So.
Let's see if he takes the drop. Yeah, I took that risk too. I took that risk by dropping instead of going left, and that paid off for me. Both times it paid off. Oh, you know what they say? Always take the Eon drop.
Yeah.
Until you don't. But yeah,
always,
I had a great time.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Thunderbird, the second fight against Thunderbird. First time, I just messed up. I got hit a few times. I didn't have enough to cast Reflect. Second time, I accidentally cast Jump. And I was like, well, guess I'm stuck with this.
I see.
Note to self, do not cast Jump when you're below attack 7 fighting Thunderbird, because there's just no point.
Yep,
you can't kill him fast enough to the point where he doesn't do damage to you. But with attack 7 and above, you can take him down pretty quick. But yeah, attack 5, I should have taken it nice and slow and easy, and that worked out for me.
So a pretty clutch win for you here. You needed this to get into the double elimination bracket and not have to play your way in. So as Yunos pointed out, there's only 4 slots remaining in the play-in race. You took one away from people. How could you?
They're gonna have to get over it because I feel like I worked really hard for this, regardless of the situation. I went into this with the mentality that I was not gonna advance past where I'm at right now. I didn't think I was going to beat VRez. I didn't think I was going to beat Angry Larry in round 1. I had no idea that I was going to beat you. It just happened.
This has definitely been an interesting tournament. A lot of upsets and people who like there are a lot of relative unknowns, like people who are generally good at the game but like maybe haven't played Randomizer so much. And so it's really hard to like have an evaluation of like people's skill, and it's been really interesting to see certain people like take Joshy D 3-1. At the start of the tournament, I would have never said he would be one of the ones that's 3-1 4-0, but here we stand.
No 4-0 for you. Yeah, he was going for it. I was like, you know what? I'm like, why don't you just do us both a favor? Just not show up to the match, and we can both advance. No harm, no foul. He's like, nah, I'm going for 4-0. I'm like, all right.
Well, you earned it. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. He is. Oh, he's going for the crazy. See, he's got Jump with attack 8. Took down T-Bird super fast.
Yeah, he made T-Bird look like a chump. That was really impressive.
8, yeah. I wish. That's the Jump strat. If you have high attack, use Jump. If you don't use Jump. That's what I'm telling myself from now on.
Oh, he's gonna fight him like a man, dude. You officially lose because of this.
Yeah, I was on my last life. I normally like to fight him as well outside of the box, and not in the corner. Nobody puts Baby Link in the corner. But yeah, I wasn't risking it. The fact that he hadn't finished yet really
Oh,
really
yeah,
was making me
definitely.
nervous. So I just take it very, 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 very slowly. So.
Reznor's final time 1 hour 45 minutes 27 seconds, about 10 minutes behind Jam here.
Oh no! Uh-oh. What's the rule on that?
He lost anyway, it's fine.
Well, I mean, wait. Yeah, right. The rule is you gotta redo the ballots, right? I think so. Because you didn't technically complete the goal. I don't know. We need some admins over here. I'm gonna go take a quick break while you guys figure this out. I'll be back.
Sure, no problem.
Good luck.
It is on final hit. That's something I didn't know. I've been ending on loss of control, so. Yeah, it doesn't matter, in my opinion. So let's see if we could drag him in here. If he can stomach it. All right, Reznor declines the interview, so I think that'll do it for us today. I think the next match is later this evening. Let me pull it up here real quick. Come on. It is indeed later today. It is at 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We have some schmuck named Daig Shaki versus Scorpion Max. And that's going to be, once again, 11 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AngryLarry. And once again, congratulations to Jam. Hope you all have a good rest of the day, and hope you enjoy the race.